evening. Welcome everyone to the special closed.
Is your mic on?
Sorry, I just turned it on. I just realized that. Thanks, Laser. Good evening. Welcome everyone to the special closed session meeting of Monday, October 28th, 2024. Calling the meeting to order at 6:01. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Claudia Arona, absent. Councilmember Elizabeth Arona, absent. Mayor Pro Tem Brown.
Here.
Mayor Infante.
Here. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. If you face the flag, hand over your heart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So, we don't apparently have any public communications for the closed session. Do
we want to announce it first? And then
you want to announce it first? Yes, please.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Thank you. The City Council is meeting in closed session for conference with legal counsel on existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 regarding the case of South Coast Property Company 13-B LP versus City of Solvang et al., case number 22-CV-00254.
Thank you. In that case, we will recess to closed session. And we are back on, I believe. Madam Attorney, if you would give us the results, please.
Thank you, Mayor. There is no reportable action coming out of that closed session. Thank you.
Closed session is ended. We will resume with the regular session in about 2 minutes. The meeting of October 28th, 2024, calling the meeting to order at 6:30 PM. Roll call, please, Ms. Clerk.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Claudia Arona, absent. Councilmember Elizabeth Arona, absent. Mayor Pro Tem Brown,
Here.
Mayor Infante.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we have one presentation. Mr. Murphy, do you want to introduce that, please?
Yes, it is time for our quarterly marketing update. And John Thorgenfry from TJA is here along with Anna out there, and Eyelet appears to be online. So for any questions for the information that was provided in the board packet. But John, if you want to step up to the microphone, and are we up?
Did you hit play? Did you hit play on the?
We're good.
There we go.
Good evening. Nice to see you all, Mayor Infante, council members. Here to share the quarterly report for what we've been doing since July through September. And I just want you to know we continue our solid collaboration with the other marketing team members that Randy just mentioned. And we're working closely, as always, with Candace and Randy to meet all their goals. And obviously, our number one goal is to grow TOT, so the general fund grows. And as you all well know, that general fund money that comes from the TOT helps the citizens with all the services. So we continue to realize the importance of that. So I will start just with some website highlights. Probably we've been kind of up to again from July through August. In July, we created a lot of new banner ads for the seasonality for the website creation. We also created a new heritage page and a July blog. And then in August, we had new listing updates. We updated events. We did a new vendor form, new things to do page, and we also obviously worked on Danish Days and promotion of that and the marketing on the website. And then in September, we also did a variety of the similar types of things with the blog and updating of the banner ads. Also, in addition to that, we produced a rack card for Yule Fest, which I'm happy to pass out to you if you'd like to see it. So next slide, please.
Okay. In that case, we get to see it. There are rules around what we can do with public documents.
Next slide, please. So looking at the highlights for the website, if you look at sessions over last year, again comparing September of 2023, or excuse me, quarter of 2023 with 2024, again, which July through August, we had a very good rate of 25% on sessions growth. Also, Danish Days page was up over 211%. And I'm really happy to say the lodging referrals were up over 165%. So we've made some really incredible progress between last quarter of this year, third quarter last year and third quarter this year. And also for the monthly meta ads that we did, we had really good success with those. We've got those down to like 12 cents a click, which is a very low industry standard. We had the number of clicks to the lodging special page equaled over 16,293. And monthly e-blast was open rate of over 42%. And one thing I'd like to share with you too, we started a new effort with a pop-up ad, very benign pop-up ad on the homepage of the website to increase newsletter subscriptions. And I'll share this with you as well. So what we did is we created a pop-up, as I mentioned, and then we created a collateral piece that people would be able to receive if they wish to sign up for the newsletter. And this was a what to do before you go to Solvang, a little guide that they would be able to then download and take with them prior to, and explore prior to coming to Solvang. So this included Solvang's Danish heritage, wine country.
Microphone?
Go ahead.
Try it again.
Oh, testing?
Yeah, we got it back.
Okay, good. I could go back to my drama days and really enunciate, but it was a long time ago. So Danish heritage, wine country, food, boutiques, family fun, and then Solvang after dark, and outdoor adventure and events, and saw a Solvang walking map. So I'm really happy to say that this experiment with the pop-ups really worked well to increase subscriptions. We went from an average of 3 to 4 today of people signing up for the newsletter to 30 to 40 per day. And so we'll keep this going for a while, maybe pull it off of the website, possibly during Yule Fest, because that real estate on the homepage is really valuable, and we want to make sure we don't overdo it with the pop-up, but it had great success. Our local hood stories, that interaction rate is over 67%. And next slide, please. So I wanted to share with you, we started in late September our fall campaign with the Bay Area News Group. And I just have a little bit of a recap for you because it's still underway. It'll go all the way through November. Right now, we're going to start promoting Yule Fest with those ads and that campaign. But we had basically we have where we create awareness, which is through native stories and videos, as well as display ads on their website. Consideration through Instagram and Facebook ads, and then paid search for retargeting our target audience. The key elements of the campaign were, next slide, please. The key elements of the campaign is a Premax, which is a Google Display Network. This gets to be a little technical, but it basically sends ads to those people who have deemed most likely to convert. When convert means people that come to Solvang and book a hotel room or a vacation rental. The Book Now and Lodging Specials pages are the destination for all of that marketing. And then the meta part of that is retargeting those who have gone to the Solvang site, possibly explored the lodging section. We retarget them and give them another message and another compelling reason to come to Solvang. The banners and the native ads, that helps to target market coverage, builds interest to come to Solvang and take advantage of events and lodging specials. And again, all of the call to action on all of our campaigns that we do for you are centered around creating results for the lodging specials page, so we get increased bookings and people stay. So with that, we had over 16,000 impressions, 1,087.5 clicks, 2,080 conversions, and a 63 book your stay. Over 1,000 things, and over 1,000 people went to the Things to Do page. So this again is very early into the campaign. It's 9/26 to 10/10, but it does give you a snapshot to show that the campaign is working well. And on Facebook, again, that's the period of 9/26 to 10/15. We had 321,000 impressions and 3,155 clicks to the website. So again, we're looking at good results coming from their Facebook, not necessarily ours. So when we do we share assets with another media company like Bay Area News Group, it's their assets, their social media that we're combining with. And so I'm happy to come back and give you other further updates. So you'll certainly see the campaign at its conclusion. All of this is on the dashboard. We continue to improve that, and we've gotten some really good response from all your constituents that feel like it's a really good way to communicate and find out what's happening marketing-wise, and then also what's happening within the city. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Yes, sir.
Great job.
Thank you.
I think you're doing a really good job. Now we're number 2 Christmas destination. That's way cool. But my question is, we're targeting those weekend guests, if you will.
Well, actually, we do target midweek too.
Well, that's where I want to, can
Yeah.
you give me more detail about that? I haven't
Sure.
heard anything as that being a target market.
Right. So
Thank
we
you.
try to, with the lodging specials, a lot of those specials centered around midweek travel. So through getting people to go to the lodging specials page, we're increasing their desire to try to get a better deal, but also realize they're going to get that better deal by coming midweek and certainly in the off season. Of course, your off season is different than other destinations. Your big season's coming up. But we do put heavy emphasis on midweek travel, and we also target baby boomers, people who are empty nesters whose children have grown and they have the ability to travel in the off season, and also midweek because their children are grown and they don't have to be in school. So we do target them very heavily. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. That is one of our key goals, is to fill up midweek.
Mr. Clark? No? I only had one question. You had mentioned maps. Those are online?
They're on our website, and people can download them. And it's a walking map. It's in that document that she has right there.
Okay, I'll take a look.
But yeah, we've found that we've been producing more and more these types of guides and maps. We found them to be very successful. People really do like to have maps, and they like to be able to download them and then take them with them when they come.
Yeah,
So they have ability to get it online and then also print it on their own.
excellent.
Another question.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
One other question. Do you have this website, can they toggle from language to language on this?
Yes, it has different languages.
Or which do we have that are on our site?
We have quite a few. I know Rick, I think Rick's Rick, are you available to tell us what languages we have on our website, the availability? Or Tom?
Yeah, I can take a crack at it. I haven't looked lately, but I think we're using the Google Translator, and so it can translate into all the languages that Google has. So it's quite extensive. We didn't. I don't think we eliminated it to like German, Italian, French, Danish. I don't think we've done that yet. But I think you can go in and get any language that you want that Google will translate into, which is quite extensive.
Yeah, when it first started, Google had this offering, and at the very beginning, it was a little shaky. It was not perfect, but they've got it down so much now that somebody has the ability to, if they want it in German, it'll translate instantly into German, translate to Spanish, translate to Italian, pretty much all those more popular type of languages and countries.
One last question for you. I sent you an email about Chomp Restaurant getting selected by a magazine, which I'd never heard of, called The Best Restaurants in America.
Frozen food restaurants in America.
No, that's not what it said.
Well, we certainly, we'd love to get that kind of information. It's, we're all reporters for the city, so anytime anybody hears anything positive, it's great. I know Anna, we shared that with Anna, and, she's the one that would put it out from the PR standpoint. But anytime we get accolades, we'll take them and promote them.
Who is this magazine? Have you ever heard of them before?
No. Maybe Anna has.
I'm curious. Here comes Anna. I'm really curious.
It's not a magazine. Sorry. It is actually like a TV. I think it was a YouTube or a streaming something. It's not a magazine. It's not print, but it was actually through. You have to submit. So each of the restaurants has to submit themselves. So it was a little bit of a different process. I don't know if it was like a pay for play. I'd need to research it more, but it was a little bit different than like the Newsweek ones where they just come to us and surprise.
Yeah, of all the restaurants in Solvang, Chomp came as a surprise.
Well, no, if you read the criteria that they weighed to pick that, I understand.
It's volume of people.
It's the social interaction with the kids in the high school and all
Yep.
that. So
Yeah,
I understand, and I thought it was kind of a neat thing.
It is. It's very cool. But I just didn't understand it. Never heard of it before, and I
Yeah.
wanted some more information, so I understood it a little bit.
Yeah, it had popped up, I think, in one of my Google alerts because I have all kinds of keywords plugged in, so I get the automatic emails. Yeah, I mean, I can research it a little bit more, but that's what it was. It was something.
Aaron started the
marketing
grading
person.
company. It's Aaron's business that rated it.
And it could be even, they could take it also through reviews. A lot of things like that, will automatically compile reviews that are online, either Yelp reviews or Google business listing reviews. So a lot of that just gets like amalgamated, and they'll do things based on that as well, digitally.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, it goes to show it's always good to submit, if there is a category that a business feels like that they're unique in, it does help to submit their businesses and let them know why they should be selected. But it's always good to hear. Anytime anybody hears of anything positive, we want to put it out.
Any other questions?
Well, as I say, we've got Anna here, we've got Sue here from
Yeah.
the Visitor Center, we've got Liana, so if you have any question for them, if they want to.
I would
Yeah.
just say
About
that we were very happy with Danish Days, and we're looking for a great Yule Fest.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it. Ladies, anything you want to add, bring up? Yes, please.
Looks like Liana has some things to say as well, so.
So in our report, we noted, and I know I've shown you these before, but we've kind of upgraded them a little. But we give out the bear hugs in the visitor center. We got those because sometimes we actually have people who come in that are upset or sad, and they lose things, and actually can be in tears when they come in the visitor center. So we created the little bear hugs, and so, or sometimes it's just someone special that we get a feeling we should give one to. So these are our bear hugs right now. They're super cute, and then we now have the little ribbon on so that we could put one side it says bear hug, and the other side it says solvangusa.com. So we're trying to market everything, with our website on it too. And then, and so those are just kind of special. We decide when they need to go out. And then we had the social media postings about come to Solvang and celebrate your birthday. I don't know if you saw it, but it was very cute. Because we started giving out birthday buttons in there quite a while ago, but kind of upgraded those too. So this is our new birthday button. I know it might be hard to see from there, but at the top's happy birthday. It's a picture of Solvang with the windmill. And then it does say solvangusa on the .com on the bottom. So, and then we also give out an anniversary one. This is the current one right now. It does have solvangusa.com on it as well. So people really seem to like those, and it's, hopefully something they'll take home and remember that they were here when they were celebrated. I also wanted to mention, John mentioned that they put up a vendor application on the website, which he just kind of mentioned that really quickly, but I want to say that's really great. It might have been Candace's idea, that the vendor, I know you put the vendor application on, I think it was Candace's idea, so they were working collaboratively on that. And that has been really important. So it might not mean anything if you're like, well, what a vendor application. So, but we have so many people now coming and wanting to vend in Solvang. And actually, so I also am in charge of the info at solvangusa.com questions that come in through the emails. So I take care of those. And after we got the Newsweek came out that we were the second most Christmassy town, we just started getting a ton of people emailing saying, can we vend? We want to be a vendor in Solvang. How do I do this? How do I do this? So that is actually a really important piece, because we've been able to just say, go to the website, here's the application, they can fill it out right there. And now I think we've got a ton of vendors, right? So, and I was on the ULFest committee just a couple years ago where we had a hard time getting more than 7 vendors for the makers market, and now we're just getting flooded. And so it's really great because they keep it on file for a year, so we can go in, whoever's organizing an event can go in and see what applications we have and choose from those. So that vendor application is actually a really great thing. And so I want to commend John for getting that up on the website and Candace for having the idea for it, because it was really, really needed. So I could keep talking and talking, but I won't do that to you. But I just kind of wanted to mention that. And also, since David Brown mentioned the midweek thing, I just wanted to mention we are working, this is moving forward from here, but the Visitors Center does the candlelight tours during YuleFest. And so this year we've also added we're calling it the Yule Daylight Tour, so that we could get an evening one and a daylight. And the week of Christmas, that week before Christmas, and then the week of Christmas, we're not on Christmas Day, but we're adding tours every day so that we can, they aren't having both of them on every day, but we're trying to do some every day, even midweek, so that we offer something for people, something else people can do during the week. So.
Are people signing up for that in advance?
Yes, there are. The tickets are up on Eventbrite, and our link for the tickets are on the Solvang USA website on the YuleFest page.
How has it been doing so far?
Oh yeah, so great. We went live with our tickets on October 5th, which is the earliest we've ever done, mainly so that people could plan their hotel reservations if they are planning them around a tour. And I believe the 30th, so we're starting the 30th of November, that Thanksgiving weekend. That date's already sold out, and the December 7th date is already sold out. And so I just sold, I think, 11 tickets yesterday, so they're selling quite well. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Questions? One last question from me
Yes.
then. How are the visits to the Tourist Bureau? What is are they up or down or level, or how's it going?
Yeah, so if you do look in all of my reports, I do a monthly report, and we are consistently seeing more visitors each month. So the trend for like how they're going, a little bit higher this month, a little lower, have been the same. I put in a little chart, I think it was my August or September report, maybe it's August, showed how the last 3 years, how the trend is the same as far as what month is a little higher and a little lower, but they are all still up higher. So in Danish days, it was pretty close to last year, this year, as far as our numbers in the visitor center, but they're still higher. So we haven't seen any like drop in numbers at all. So as far as what we see in the visitor center, it's showing that we're continuing to get more visitors coming.
We get the report, but I wanted to make sure that the residents heard that as well. So thank you very much. I appreciate
Yes,
it.
you're welcome. Anything else that anyone has? All right.
And then I believe Liana had something to say. I saw her on there talking. We need to get her back on the screen, please. There she is.
Hi. Did you want me to go over the presentation?
My computer's freezing up. And you want to hit some of the highlights? They have the hard copy in their packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can skip ahead to the takeaways page for the sake of everybody's time. I just wanted to share a few great wins for the Solvang USA Instagram page. The year-over-year increases in terms of follower growth is up 257%. So we grew in this quarter 7,000 new followers as opposed to 2,000 the previous year. The organic reach is up 48%. Everybody is loving the fall and Halloween content that we've been posting, sharing about the pumpkin patch and the Scarecrow Fest. And the profile views are up 26%. 25,000 people are coming to the page as opposed to 20,000 last year. Videos are very much having a moment on social media. Everybody is loving the videos that we're sharing. And the Facebook as well is seeing a large increase in reach. We're up 934%. We've reached 1.6 million people as opposed to under or just over 150,000 last year. And then as far as our opportunities, we're continuing partnerships with influencers that are increasing exposure to new audiences and also creating great content for us. And we're going to continue to use the seasonal imagery, and then going into Yule Fest, we know that we'll be able to blow these numbers out of the water again. Any questions?
Where are you getting all these videos? Who's doing them?
It's a combination. So we came last year, we had a budget for social media. And so we shot some still photos and we also shot videos. And then we've also partnered with TJA, who just did a new batch of video clips for us. And then also partnering with the influencers that are coming in and they're creating content for us. And then people who are simply tagging us and offering to collab as a free partnership.
Super. Thank you. Comments, gentlemen? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John. You don't want to say anything else, Anna Marie? Anna? Oh, no, I'm good. And Sparks? Okay. All right, so let's move on to item 3 in the agenda, which is public communications for non-agenda and consent items. Madam Clerk, if you would read that into the record, please.
At this time, you may address the council on items not on the agenda and on consent. Time limit is 3 minutes. We will start with in-person public comments first.
My first listing here is for Arthur George.
Yeah, hi, I'm Art George from the Village Collection, here to speak on item 6D, which is lot 72. I'm sorry to be here again talking about lot 72, but it's on the agenda, and you know, I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole on Groundhog Day, but here goes. The update in the materials lists 32 goals. Item 17 refers to possibly constructing a housing on Lot 72, which lies between the mission and the Village Collection. For several reasons, constructing housing on Lot 72 would be both illegal and undesirable, and we urge that Lot 72 be stricken from the list of goals for 2024 through 2026. First, the city has leased this land to the Santa Barbara Trust for Historic Preservation from 2010 to 2065, so that the trust can create and manage the lot as part of a state historic park, currently in the approval process in Sacramento. The lease lists the permitted uses of Lot 72, and housing is not among them. The only construction that can be conducted there is for water supply infrastructure. Putting housing there would violate the lease. The trust, I should mention, could not be here tonight, but they did ask me to convey these points to you. On Lot 72, on Lot 72 are protected archaeological ruins of the former Chumash village on the lot. Excavations were conducted as part of the approval process for the village collection and are reflected in specific plan number 2. These ruins run from the mission right through the middle of Lot 72. They cannot be disturbed. That's one reason why a historic park is planned for there. Third, putting housing on Lot 72 would violate specific plan number 2, which is city law approved by public referendum. That plan calls for Lot 72 to be open space for public use as passive recreation, which is reflected in the city's zoning law. The plan does not allow any kind of development on the site. Fourth and finally, putting housing on Lot 72 would adversely impact the village collection and its homeowners. As stated in the specific plan, this neighborhood was designed with a wide undeveloped buffer zone around it, consisting of our own common areas plus Lot 72. When people are deciding to buy homes here, they rely on this buffer zone remaining intact. My own house is on the border with Lot 72, and I personally remember my real estate agent assuring me that the land is under a long-term lease that prevents the site from being developed, which was a main reason why I bought the house. Further, quite obviously, putting housing on Lot 72 would also decrease our home valuations and causing adverse financial impact to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Frank Smithson, sir. Another one of the village people.
The village people. Thank you, Mayor. Frank Smithson. I do live in the village collection. I'm here today on behalf of the Solvang Rotary. I agree with Art, though, but we'll leave that there. The reason for asking for his time today, on November the 14th, the Solvang Rotary with Olive Crest will be putting on an awareness and prevention training for commercial sexually exploited children, sex trafficking. It'll be held at the Mission. It'll be from noon to 1:30 on November the 14th. Excuse me. And sorry. And lunch will be served. We have guest speakers there. Excuse me, I do apologize. Sally Cook from Olive Crest will be there to speak, as well as we will have one young lady who's a survivor. Would like to invite the council and the mayor and staff and to come. It is free of charge, of course, and got a lot of first responders coming. We're trying to get people from the hospitals as well as hotels. And what they're going to be basically kind of making us aware of is how children are groomed, who is at risk, local issues and responses, how we can help as citizens, and what you can look for. Like I say, there will be a lot of the first responders we're wanting there, and as well as we're trying to get people from the community there, so the community is invited. The only thing we would ask, if you could, because lunch being served, if you would just RSVP to Solvang Rotary Sunrise at gmail.com that you're coming, so we'll make sure we have enough lunch. But it should be very educational, and it's kind of something that's very important to us. We were given a grant by the Rotary International to put this on, so we do want to do it and take advantage of it. Thank you very much.
Before you go away, I'm gonna contradict our normal procedure because we don't normally respond to these. But I would like to hear one more time the date and
Yes, sir.
time for those.
It's November the 14th.
Yeah.
It's at noon till 1:30. And if you, like I said, it's we just want to make sure we're expecting up to 200 or so people is what we'd like. We want to make sure we have enough lunch for everyone. So if you would just RSVP to Solvang Rotary Sunrise at gmail.com so we get a good head count. It would be nice if much of staff could be there. Anybody from your, Parks and Rec, anything that's around kids. You know, I probably didn't do as good a job conveying this, but hopefully y'all know the importance of it.
Has that been sent to the city officially?
It has not.
Would you?
I'll be glad to.
Please do.
Do you want me to send it to Wendy or?
Randy and I, and we'll get it done.
Got it. I'll take care of it.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Stacy Ott.
Stacy Oddie, California Nature Art Museum. Excited to be here to formally share with the council and the community, if you haven't already seen it in the papers, that we are bringing a Thomas Dambo troll to the museum and to Solvang. It's all signed. The money's not all raised yet, but it is all signed and it will be delivered. In fact, the head of the troll is being made. You did it. Look at you. They're all unique and different. If you don't already know, Thomas names them. He has backstories for all these different trolls. It's really incredible. He has named ours, but I'm not allowed to tell anybody what the name is in case he decides to change her name, but we're getting a girl. She is going to be living in our tower, apparently. Well, I'm not even supposed to tell you the backstory of why she's living in our tower, but she likes pastry and she lives in our tower. It will be happening in the latter half of January. Which is very exciting. His team's going to be coming out with him. It's either 6 to 8 people that we'll be needing to house. We are in the middle of our capital campaign for that. It's a $300,000 campaign. We're a little less than half of that. And we're also looking for a lot of in-kind donations. And I know the city doesn't have a lot of money to necessarily help us with that part, but if you can help get the word out that we're looking for things like old lumber, and lots of pallets. We're looking for at least 100 wooden pallets. I threw out the idea about wine barrels because obviously we're a wonderful wine country here. And his team did seize on that, and they decided, yes, they would love wine barrels, which we're going to be tearing apart, and that's going to be the fur on our gorgeous troll. And use lumber, use 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s. We're looking for volunteers. He loves to work with the community wherever he installs these, which, as you know, is mostly outdoors in nature. This will be his first indoor troll and his first California permanent troll. And we're looking for volunteers. And as I look at you, Councilman Brown, I'm thinking, ooh, I wonder if Boy Scouts maybe, would have some interest in it. So the whole time that he's here, it's about a 2-week time period. He's doing 4-hour shifts per day. So, 4 volunteers for 4 hours and then another team. Some people can work the whole time, and probably some people will want to do a shift and have enough. It's such an exciting new tourist attraction in Solvang. We're just thrilled to be able to do this. Danish artist right here in Solvang. When his trolls are there, they attract all kinds of people to that community. So the other wonderful thing is just helping to promote the fact that it's here coming and that it's here. And I think we're going to all be finding that it's bringing a lot of new tourists and hopefully repeat customers to our community. Ta-da, I'm done.
That was perfect timing. It was suggested by a resident that we put a sign out in front of the museum that says, "Caution, troll crossing."
Oh, I like it.
No,
We can work on
point
that.
at the museum. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Caltrans might not like that. Hank Homburg, please.
I get to follow the troll, so. Good evening, Mayor, council members that are here. I just want to speak briefly on kind of a reality check for the city. First off, I want to give kudos to the rec department for this past Friday and Saturday for the Halloween festival, haunted house we had. I was fortunate enough again this year to be a monster, and I think I have more fun than a lot of the kids that go through there. It's pretty fun. Anyway, thanks to Fred and Candace and everybody in the rec department. You know who you are. Good job. So that was the good stuff. The bad stuff is that I just wanted to reiterate that we're a city of 6,000 people. We're in the red. We have CalPERS liability. We have an increasing payroll and staffing position that positions are growing every year. We have a $2 million plus sheriff's contract. Who knows how much that's going to be in the next couple of years. We have a wastewater treatment facility that's supposedly costing $16 to $20 million. I have no idea where that's going. It could be $25 million before it's done, maybe 30. We have infrastructure issues right now. Roads like Chalk Hill and many neighborhood roads are just destroyed by all the, the Amazon deliveries, all the trucks. UPS is going by houses 10 times a day, FedEx, you name it. Not to mention the trash trucks. So our roads are getting hammered, Chalk Hill in particular. And then we have our senior center, also a big liability that we've dedicated money to. So I just want the city, the dais, people up here to remember this when there's something on the end of the agenda that says we're giving out money. We have no business as a city of 6,000 to give money out to anybody except to make our city run properly. So that's all I want to say. I appreciate your time, and good luck on the next election for everybody who's running, and appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Hank. Do we have anybody else in the audience that wants to speak? Dennis, Mr. Beebe, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your continued support to our community as well as the council members. A couple dates are going to take place before November 14th and before you meet again, and that's November 9th and November 11th. Both are veteran-centric dates. November 9th is being sponsored by the Santa Barbara County Veterans Foundation at Solvang Park. And it's, a celebration of veterans, but it shouldn't be confined to veterans. Everyone's welcome. A more significant event from my perspective is Veterans Day, which is, of course, held annually at the Solvang Memorial Veterans Hall. Both of these events are supported by Parks and Rec and Public Works. So we value our vets. We're going to celebrate our vets in both events, but Veterans Day, there'll be perhaps 2, maybe 3 World War II veterans who may be able to make it. I'm going to assist one, and there may be a second. I'm only aware of 3 that are alive, Solvang residents, World War II vets. This may be the last Veterans Day that some of these World War II vets will ever see. So I invite everyone. I don't know how much word this gets out, talking to people present, people online, but it's not on the calendar. My advance calendar only goes a couple of weeks. So the 9th and the 11th, everyone is welcome, and the purpose is to celebrate and honor our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Anybody else in person here? We have one person on Zoom, I believe, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, Susan Bott.
Thank you. I'll put my hand down there. Mayor Infante and City Council members, I'm Susan Bott, President of We Watch, a land use and environmental organization focused on the San Ynez Valley. Tonight, I'm speaking about the importance of the Design Review Committee to Solvang now and in the future. It is tempting when the Planning and Community Development Department and you are asked by persons wanting streamlined action on their proposed projects to do everything possible to streamline. This includes suggestions that the Design Review Committee will no longer be needed once objective design standards are in place, because they will enable staff to perform the work now done by the DRC. How closely have you followed the work of the DRC? We Watch has monitored it or its predecessors for almost 20 years. The current revised structure, initiated by council and residents, has redefined the DRC while keeping it appointed by the whole council, not by its individual members. The DRC provides a wise voice made up of persons with individual expertise in design, community history, construction, etc., to watchdog architectural development and renewal in our village and mission districts. It provides a serious, informed, civil approach when addressing projects and applicants. It is asked to make nuanced decisions that no design standards can replace about our precious, unique in the U.S., 18th century Northern European Danish village. Watching tourists walk into the village area from a bus and seeing their delighted responses to Solvang reminds each of us why we need to retain the DRC. Streamline elsewhere, but please preserve the DRC. Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Do we have anybody else then that wants to speak? Okay, then we'll bring public communications to a close, and we will go to the city manager's report. Mr. Murphy.
Yes, thank you. First off, I want to introduce a couple of new additions to the management staff here in the city. One you may recognize from before, not from the post office wall. Jose Acosta is back as our utility director, and he's welcome and will be obviously taking over taking those duties away from my inept hands, I guess I can say, or at least at times. And then also Olivia Mutal Uribe, is it Uribe? I always get it mixed up. I'm sorry. You can correct me later. But the point is, she's coming to us from the city of Carpinteria, and will be filling the role as the assistant to the city manager, and offered her an opportunity for both of them to come up and say a few words.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Olivia Uribe Mutal, and I'm honored to join the city of Solvang. I bring valuable experience in local government in from my previous role as program manager in the city of Carpinteria. I did emergency management, as well as focusing on communications and complex administrative projects. I have experience with leading the Emergency Operations Center and shelter activations, as well as strategic planning and special initiative management. I have also done work with bilingual community engagement programs, and I'm a member of ICMA and MMASC, and I'm completing the Santa Barbara Regional Management Academy program. And as a longtime community member of the Santa Barbara County, I understand the complexities of the region. I'm particularly impressed to work with City Manager Murphy and his strategic leadership and our staff's dedication to the community. This was exemplified during my first week when we were faced with a communications outage. Our team demonstrated remarkable initiative in their problem solving and maintaining the community updated despite significant challenges. I look forward to supporting the council as well as City Manager Murphy and contributing to the community of Solvang. Please don't hesitate to ask for anything that you may need from me if I can be of assistance. Thank you.
And you're going to be helping us set up an emergency plan?
Yes.
I think that's excellent. As we found out last weekend, it was a problem. You want to say something, Mr.
I just want to clarify, I did not pay her to say any of that about me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Infante, council members, members of the community. Jose Acosta, returning for a second round here with the city and hopefully my last. I'm honored that Randy made the selection and offered me the opportunity to come back to work for the city. There's still a ton of initiatives on the table that were there when I left that we need to get going again. So I jumped in with my feet on the ground running. And like I told Randy, my job is to make sure that I take everything off of his plate that he is burdened him over this last 15 months. I look forward to working with the council members and Randy on completing the goals that have been set forth for staff and for the council. And I look forward to providing customer service, great customer service for the community of Solvang, working with the community collaboratively and listening to them and providing what we need to do for utilities. There's a lot on the horizon, so you'll be seeing me coming to these council members in the next few months with some projects and hopefully moving forward. So again, thanks for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you guys again.
Nice to see you back.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
A few other things I wanted to point out. There is a business talks meeting featuring our utility director, Jose Acosta, and Candace Libera, our marketing events coordinator, that will be held on Wednesday evening. They're all hoping for a Dodger sweep so they don't have to compete with the game. They've been having to be discussing topics of discussion, water and wastewater updates, as well as Yule Fest planning. There's also a Parks and Rec turkey bingo on Saturday, November 16th. Information is available, I believe, on our website and our Facebook page. So that's available. You can see that. I don't know, I'm backwards. Anyway, great artwork. Cleanup day happens to be on that same day in the morning. Again, parking lot 4 from 8 to noon. As was pointed out, the haunted house was a very big success. We had over 2,100 paid admissions to that, so over the 2 days. Rumor has it it's the best Saturday we've ever had. So thanks again to the Parks and Rec crew.
Is that because of Mark Homburg being a monster?
I think it might have helped, yeah.
Hank Homburg, sorry.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out, too, that the next council meeting, because of the Veterans holiday, will be the day after on November 12th. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you very much. All right. Let's move into general comments, report out from the council.
I have been to no events or meetings, so I have nothing to record.
Nothing to record. Mr. Brown.
Thank you. Couple things. I was at the with our manager Randy Murphy and Claudia Arona at the California League of Cities conference and convention. 3 days of a lot of it was like drinking from a fire hose, as they say. Lots of vendors, lots of networking, a lot of courses and breakout rooms for a lot of different things that will help benefit our city. And I also wanted to thank the League of Women Voters for a forum last week here in the chambers. And then I'll parrot the great job on the haunted house. My grandson loved it. I thought it was kind of cool too, but we went with a toddler group, and so it wasn't what I would define. You know, I wasn't scared. What can I say? And a great job, a lot of work. It's great. Then I had one other thing. Thank you.
All right, real quickly, I'll go through a couple of things. I was also at the Mayor's Forum and thought that the League of Women Voters did a great job. That was very interesting and very well run. I really wish I could have answered some of those questions myself instead of letting these guys answer them, but yeah, no. I was at the Viking Car Show and the dinner over at Mendenhall's. The SBCAG and APCD meetings in Santa Maria last week, I want to announce from the Air Pollution Control District that November 15th ends the Landscape Electrification Equipment Program, where they give out funds to buy electric landscaping equipment. So if we have anybody in the city, anybody that's a landscaper, it's not for personal, but for professional, the LEAP program is out there, and it's done a lot of things around here, including a completely autonomous electric tractor over in Rennie's wine area, a grapeyard. Okay, I think that's it for that part of it. Yep, let's move on then. Let's go to item number 6, consent items. Ms. Clerk, if you'd read that into the record, please.
Consent is for routine administrative city matters and is approved with one motion. These items are discussed only on request of council members. Members of the public were afforded an opportunity to speak during the public communications portion of this agenda.
Thank you. Gentlemen, anything to pull?
Nothing to pull.
Yes, I would like to pull item 6F, no, excuse me. The 6E.
The auditing services?
The auditing services, yes.
And discuss that?
I would, yeah.
Okay, and I'd like to pull item D and discuss that, please. So, Madam Attorney, what's the process? We do one of those at a time, and then we get it all done, and then we vote for everything?
No.
No.
Thank you, Mayor. I think what we should do is have a motion
For the rest of them.
for the rest of the items. You can say it like I have a motion to pull items, I forget which letters.
We'll get it.
Yeah, D and E, and to approve the remaining items, and then we'll take D and
Those
E
one at a time.
individually.
I will make a motion to approve consent items, agenda items A, B, C, and F, removing E and D.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Claudia Arona, absent. Councilmember Elizabeth Arona, absent. Mayor Pro Tem Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Infante?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, so let's go in order, I guess. We'll start with item D, which is receive and file a city council goals update. I bring this up for a couple of reasons. One of them was brought up during public session, which was item 17. This was done by a public meeting, and they were presented by the public and voted on, and we put them on the list. You see that there's nothing being done about that at the time. The comments about Lot 72 are totally valid. It is not available for housing, period. There are some discussions about Lot 72 because there is one section of it that's designated for parking, unfortunately, probably right next to the gentleman's house. But you can't put housing on Lot 72. I have been communicating with the Santa Barbara Historical Society that has the lease now on that. It's a 99-year lease, I believe, on that property. And I have talked to the Chumash about the archaeological environment that it exists there, and we're not going to build housing on it. That was put in here because it was suggested by the residents of the community, but that's not going to happen. Okay. Number 13, let's go back to this. The increased water storage and supply. This is talking about, and Jose left, didn't he? The nerve of that guy.
He did.
The HCA middle well. What's an HCA middle well?
HCA middle well is a well that was drilled some time ago in anticipation of future needs. It's not increasing storage, though. It's just increasing supply.
And as a consequence, the city is thinking about injecting water into it during heavy rains so we have water later?
That's one of the options, yes. I mean, injecting it, but there has to be some additional study done, as I understand it. that may just flow back into the river underflow, in which
Yeah.
case it makes no sense. So we haven't fully investigated that, but it's a potential option to replenish the aquifer if it is in an aquifer versus a river underflow.
It's my understanding that well's in an underflow and not an aquifer, so I would agree with you that that doesn't make sense. This is what, hence my confusion.
Right.
The other part of my confusion is that this says increased water storage with larger reservoirs,
Right.
okay? And that's been on the thoughts in this
It's on the
town for a
CIP, yeah.
while
Yes.
of getting the big one up at the top of Alisal and the one down at the Alisal Ranch increased so they can store more water.
Correct.
But that's not addressed in here at all. Only this HCA middle well.
Right, and that's addressing the water supply portion of the comment, because it says and/or supply.
Yeah.
Storage and/or supply. So I can tell you that we are investigating options. We're working on a grant for increasing the size of one of the reservoirs, one of the water tanks, basically. And we should have something hopefully to council in the next, actually, no, that won't actually be awarded until October next year. But once we get awarded that money or grant, then we will be looking to upgrade that reservoir.
Thank you very much. The number 2 was analyze limited uses of the urban growth boundary. It says for affordable and workforce housing, a number of things meet state law, and it says no work completed. Who would be working on the urban growth boundary analysis?
That'll be part of the planning department's area that's assigned to planning, so they'll be working on that.
And they just haven't gotten to it yet?
Right.
Okay.
If you notice, several of the top 15 or 16 are planning.
Uh-huh.
So
there are a lot in here for planning. It's like walkable locations.
Right.
Yeah. Sign ordinance and subdivision amendments over on 5 is the same thing. That's planning.
yes,
And it's going to take place in early 2025. Sorry. Number 9, assess the opportunities to support and use local organizations to more effectively meet community needs and volunteers. This is in marketing. And it says volunteer organizations, have a lead contact with local volunteer organizations within the valley. So local organizations is not just Solvang?
No, it would be a broader,
Okay.
the San Ynez Valley.
That's kind of what it says, but I would have assumed that it would have been, when you say local, I think of Solvang, not the valley.
Well, it's definitely local too. But we could go outreach to broaden our opportunity for volunteerism.
Okay, thank you. That was everything I had on it. Gentlemen, any other comments on the update to the Solvang City Council goals? And that,
This is just status report, basically,
Yes.
is it not?
It
There's no
is.
action to be taken on this.
no,
receive and file, yeah.
yeah. So in that case, I'll make a motion that we receive and file. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Claudia Arona, absent. Councilmember Elizabeth Arona, absent. Mayor Pro Tem Brown.
Yes.
Mayor Infante.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, so now we come to item E, I believe. Mr. Brown, you're up. What do you have in mind?
Well, my concern with this is that this particular auditor has already been auditing our books for the last 5 years, and now we're prepared to give him a contract for another 6 years. This would never pass muster in the private sector. It needs to be an independent firm that rotates every 2 to 3 years in duration. Even though they say it's a different auditor, it's still the same company. And like I said, this would not pass in the public sector for businesses that I've ever been associated with.
On the other hand,
So that
we
was my
get
concern.
awarded excellence in our auditing every year by the state controller.
And we still
So they've been
can.
doing a good job.
We still can. That's our team. I'm saying that the auditor needs to be independent. And I think this is not, in my opinion, above reproach when the same auditor's been doing it for 11 years, or will be if we award the contract. That was my concern. I shared that with the city manager. Maybe you have some feedback on that regard.
So I checked with, as I pointed out when we spoke, Councilmember Brown, that I, along with two finance staff, Wendy Berry and Jason Banta, reviewed the proposals. I didn't recall specifically some of the issues. I can tell you that LSL, which is the next best as far as pricing concerns, did not provide a proposed timeline, so technically they were not responsive in their proposal. They also did not give adequate client references. So those are a couple of the reasons why they were not selected. Badawi has done the work. They do change auditors midstream, and to be clear, although it is 6-year term, it's only for 5 fiscal years. It's just the way it, because we don't do the next one until the subsequent fiscal year has begun.
Is there an opportunity to have a contract for 2 years more? I don't know the answer to this.
Well, the actual RP called for a 3-year contract with 2 1-year extensions. And we could certainly dial it back and just do a 3-year contract. And then depending on what's going on and with consultation with council, this was just trying to get authorization to do all 5 fiscal years at once and not have to come back a second time.
I mean, this is where my heartburn was with regards to auditing is not, it needs to be independent. We get better reviews. People will see things that we're not seeing and our other companies not seeing by virtue of fresh eyes, and that's what the audit's for. That's why
So you propose
I propose this is probably a great company. I'm not disparaging them whatsoever. It's just a matter of that this would never fly in the public sector.
So do you want to propose that we do a 3-year contract with the 2-year extensions, but they come back to us for the extensions?
Yeah, I wouldn't add any extensions. That's just kicking that can down the road for additional non-independent viewpoint.
Well, okay. So what are you suggesting?
I would suggest a maximum 3-year term. Would be, if I'm negotiating with it, that's probably what I would say.
The proposal was, I mean, again, the solicitation said for a 3-year agreement and 2 1-year extensions. So
that's what the proposal said?
That's what the proposal was for. So changing the terms may change the pricing. So we'd have to go back to them and see if they were amenable to that.
The 2 years are at our option?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then that would still work if the option's ours to renew or not.
Okay. So you want to make a motion that we accept it? We accept item E.
Yeah, I would make a motion to accept item E with a request that they review the last option, the options with
Excuse me.
with great concern.
Could I suggest that the motion be that it be approved for the 3-year agreement, and then subsequent to review?
Yeah, or
extension?
go ahead with the contract with the 3 years and bring back to council for the options.
For the second
extension.
2 years, for the 2
Extension,
1-year
any
extension.
extensions, yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
And I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Claudia Rona, absent. Councilmember Elizabeth Arona, absent. Mayor Pro Tem Brown.
Yes.
Mayor Infante.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay. So the next item is item 8A, a discussion and possible action to approve the agency grant funding guidelines. Is there anything that needed to be added to that, Madam Clerk? I think I just said everything, didn't I? Staff report, please.
Well, I will do my best. Wendy Berry is at a conference, and I'm not sure where it's at, somewhere in Southern California, but I don't remember where it was. And it is getting clarification from council. We're making a few recommendations on some improvements to the language in our grant guidelines. We're getting ready to solicit for grants here shortly after the first of the year. And since I've been here, we've identified a couple of issues that have come up, some confusion and lack of clarity about what the expectations are. And as pointed out in her staff report, we intend to have a mandatory meeting in January prior to the application period opening in February, so that anybody who intends on applying for a grant has to attend. We'll set it up so that there's 2 opportunities to attend this mandatory meeting, because obviously things happen, people are busy, but by making that information public sooner rather than later, we'll be able to capture everybody. So that eliminates some of the back and forth that you all are aware of that we had over this last grant cycle. So I'm sure you had the opportunity to read it. There's some duplicative paperwork in here. That was an oversight on staff's part when we put it together, but the red line information are the changes to what was presented in the past. So,
And one little typo.
There's one typo.
The FANT funding instead of grant funding.
That F and a G happen to be right next to each other on the keyboard. So
I know.
things happen, and
I had to pick that up.
I'll take the hit for as a proofreader position that I carry among my other duties as assigned. I didn't catch that either. So with that, I'll attempt to answer any questions you might have.
Questions, gentlemen?
I got a question. On page 136, item G, excuse me. G, no, yeah, G at the top of the page.
Which letter?
G, like in golf.
Okay.
Presentations at the designated city council meeting will be required, limited under 5 minutes, and PowerPoint presentation only.
I don't see.
I think instead of PowerPoint, you just should put multimedia presentation, if that's, it may not always be PowerPoint, it might be a video, it might be something along those lines. So I want to give flexibility to the applicant.
Good point.
All right. Any other comments? Do we have any public comment on this issue? The public just shook his head. There's nobody on Zoom, so we'll bring it back to the council we need a motion to approve this, unless you've got a final comment, please.
Yeah, just not to be indifferent to our previous Hank Hamburg as it relates to donations and grants. This is really just a policy and a working way to get to that point. Funding and available funds do depend upon the budget available. So that's all.
Absolutely. In that case, we need a motion to approve the agency grant funding guidelines.
I'll move to approve item 8B.
Actually, 8A, that was a typo also.
Item 8A, grant funding process.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Claudia Arona, absent. Councilmember Elizabeth Arona, absent. Mayor Pro Tem Brown.
Yes.
Mayor Infante.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you. We had an 8A, but it got pulled from this agenda, and this was never corrected, so that's why it says 8B on the staff report.
The clerk gave me 8A, so I knew it was right.
Yeah, we got that part right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the agenda. Do you have any final comments? If not, we are now, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to encourage our public to vote.
Absolutely.
Next
Thank you very much.
A week
It's
from
great.
tomorrow.
And it's been asked a couple of times where to go to vote if you're going to vote in person, and I understand that is over at the Mission. No?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not here. No.
It's no. It's not here. Thank you very much. We call the meeting adjourned at 7:43.